What is up, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Jerichoholic8704, here to give you another video, my top 5 matches I wish I had seen live. Now, I've done a video maybe a couple years back about the top 5 matches that I have actually seen live in person, but these are matches that I wish, just looking back, I wish I just could have been in the crowd, anywhere in the crowd really, just for the experience of seeing this match live and in person. So number 5, we have Sting and Triple H from WrestleMania 31. This is completely selfish in my eyes, just because, as you all know, Sting is one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. It kind of tugs at my heart just to know that I'll probably never see Sting live, and I thought I had my opportunity to, but I wasn't able to go to WrestleMania 31, unfortunately. But it would have been cool to see, and like the whole DX NWO thing. Sure, that was kind of before my time. I was a baby during the Monday Night War era, so I really wouldn't have had like that personal connection to it. But it still would have been cool to see. It would have been cool to see everyone, and this was a good match too. And I think it would have been really cool to be with everyone, especially older fans who are really marking out for the whole Monday Night War, Attitude Era warfare thing going on. And I think it would have been cool to see. And it just would have been cool to see Sting live, one of my favorite wrestlers ever, the guy that got me into wrestling, my first favorite wrestler. It would have been cool to see him on the grand stage, the grand stage that he deserved, and his only WrestleMania appearance. So I think it would have been cool to see. Coming in at number 4, Hulk Hogan and The Rock, WrestleMania 18. Now, I know I've given this match so much shit. See, the thing is, back then, when I was younger, I say back then, it was like 4 years ago, I was still wrapped up in the idea that, what mattered most in a match was, how good the quality was. And sometimes, that is the most definitive factor for certain matches. But for this kind of match, it's not what it's about. And I can look back on this match, I can watch it now with kind of a brand new perspective on it. And what makes this match so great is literally the crowd. I mean, this was a clash of titans. This is 2 of the 3 biggest stars ever. Now, you can argue that Austin and Hogan was a bigger match, and I'd probably agree with you. I think Austin and Hogan would have been the bigger match, but I think you would have had a more split crowd because it was like 70-30 Hogan, if that. The crowd definitely favored Hogan. I think Hogan's comeback in '02 was really epic, so I think just seeing this live would have been really awesome just for that like kind of weird dueling chant, just the crowd was so electric to steal a line from Michael Cole. And it just would have been really awesome to see, and I just think it would have been really fun to be in that mixture of the old and the new, and just seeing Hogan's comeback was so epic, and just having it unfold right before your very eyes, and watching him turn on the NWO and turn face, like everything about it would have been great. Coming in at number 3, John Cena, CM Punk, Money in the Bank 2011. Now this match is kind of my own. This one is very near and dear to my heart, just because when I was growing up watching wrestling, I started watching wrestling late '02, early '03. That's when it was kind of starting to wind down. The Attitude Era had ended. Things were getting a little cold. Like business wasn't as hot as it used to be. So I really missed out on a lot of the good times in wrestling. I wasn't alive for the golden era with Hulk Hogan when everything was super popular. Fortunately, I missed the New Generation era where you had characters and cartoons out the wazoo. But I also missed the Attitude Era. So I got to see a lot of great wrestling, sure. Like I got to see Benoit, Guerrero, Jericho, Edge, Michaels, Kurt Angle, Brock Lesnar, just really, really great wrestlers. But I never really got to see any hot angles. Wrestling was never the it thing. And I'm not saying the John Cena CM Punk angle from Money in the Bank 2011 put wrestling in the mainstream. I'm not saying anything like that, but it made it fun to be a wrestling fan. Like there was this hint of excitement. CM Punk did the thing where he like invaded Comic-Con. I can't remember if that was before or after this, but just the little things they were doing, it felt a little more real. They did that whole thing like after the pipe bomb promo, they suspended CM Punk, quote unquote, suspended him on the website, but it was still really exciting. It was a really crazy time just because everything was kind of unpredictable. You really didn't know what they were going to do. You didn't know if he was going to win and Del Rio would just cash in. You never really knew what their plan was until they actually did it. And I thought they executed this match flawlessly. It was a 5-star match, no doubt about it. And this was a awesome match. And just the environment, it was like the RVD Cena environment times 10. In the Allstate Arena, a much bigger arena, but everyone was chanting CM Punk. There was like one dude with a Cena shirt. I remember seeing that when I watched the pay-per-view. There was like one guy with the Cena shirt on. His Cena got booed out of the building. Everything was crazy, and like CM Punk was hotter than anyone in the company. And just being in that hometown reaction, it would have been awesome to see. Coming in at number 2, Mankind and The Undertaker from King of the Ring solely for the two spots this match is known for. Now, sure, the match is great. I love this match. I also give it 5 stars. Very, very phenomenal Hell in a Cell match. And even when you're watching it on TV, even the first time someone watches that spot on TV where Mankind falls off the cell, they gasp. It's crazy. It's a crazy sight. I cannot imagine what it must have been like, especially sitting in that front row, like right behind that Spanish announce table. Like, what was that like watching this dude? Because I mean, the Hell in a Cell is not. It's not short. It's a pretty high fall, especially like when Shawn Michaels took that fall in the first Hell in a Cell match. He fell like 3 feet because he was hanging. Shawn Michaels is probably like 6 feet tall. He was hanging down, so he took a very, very, very small fall that looked brutal because Shawn Michaels was awesome. Mick Foley legitimately fell off the roof. He fell off the roof into this table. I cannot imagine what it would have been like. Not only if you were just in the front row, if you were just there, and you just there was like everyone was going crazy, and like the whole suspense of them being on the roof, like they were right above you. You know what I mean? It's not like when you're watching it on TV and the camera's right there, and you just you're watching it at like face level. Like you have to look up. You have to see these two men fighting on top of you, like in the heavens. You know what I mean? I think it would have been absolutely insane just to see Mick Foley just fall, just completely fall, free fall off that Hell in a Cell. The craziest spot I've ever seen in wrestling, and just seeing it in person, it would probably mess with you just because it's so crazy watching this dude fall off this cage. And finally, coming in at number 1. The Rock versus Mankind from Raw, January 4th, 1999. One reason and one reason only, the Stone Cold pop. That pop for Stone Cold Steve Austin is probably the biggest pop in the history of wrestling. And there's something about pops and cheering when you're at a wrestling event. Like when I went to WrestleMania 30 and Daniel Bryan, only when he beat Triple H and when he won the title, there was just this joy. I can't even describe it to you. There was this joy where like everyone around you instantly became like your family. You were hugging everyone. People like in WrestleMania, like because it's in a football stadium, they put the ring on the football field, the ramp, and like the seats, and there's always this gap between the risers and the seats that end like the last row of the football field seats, and there's this wide gap. People were like running and jumping and doing the yes thing when Daniel Bryan won his matches against Triple H and Batista and Orton. People were freaking out, you know what I mean? And like it's like this overwhelming excitement. This was overwhelming excitement times 10. People lost their minds when Stone Cold came out. That pop is absolutely insane. I mean, the whole the last 2 minutes of that match perfectly encapsulate Attitude Era Raw in a nutshell. You know what I mean? Like, you have Billy Gunn and Shamrock going at it, and then DX and the Corporation, they're all fighting and everything, and all of a sudden Stone Cold comes out and the mass chaos hits Rock right in the fucking head with a chair. So Mick Foley wins the title. Just so many awesome moments, and just seeing Mick Foley, kind of similar to Daniel Bryan, kind of like an underdog kind of character, win the big one. It's like you have that family moment with them. You're hugging all the guys next to you, like everyone's kind of arm in arm. Everyone's cheering together because everyone's a family. You know what I mean? This is the ultimate family moment. These are the moments that I love when wrestling fans kind of come together and they're like one giant, uniform body of people cheering. And it's absolutely insane. And just hearing how loud that Stone Cold pop must have been. Everyone cheering off the top of their lungs, everyone screaming, everyone standing, everyone pumping their fists in the air. Absolutely awesome. I wish I would have seen that live on my TV, but also live and in person. So, my name is Jerichoholic8704, and I will see all of you guys later.